In this podcast episode, Jordan Peterson engages in a conversation with Gregg Hurwitz, a longtime friend and collaborator. Their discussion spans a wide array of topics, focusing on the current state of American society, the impact of foreign influence, and the importance of shared values in combating polarization. The conversation begins with an exploration of the paradox that the very principles that underpin American society, such as free speech and diversity, can be weaponized against it. Hurwitz argues that the goodness inherent in these principles can be manipulated by bad actors, both domestic and foreign, to sow discord and division. This manipulation complicates the discourse, making it difficult for people to discern the true nature of the arguments being presented. The discussion highlights how the narrative surrounding protests and social movements can become convoluted, leading to a situation where individuals may conflate their identities with historical figures like John Lewis, thereby obscuring the original intent of their actions. Hurwitz emphasizes that the beauty of America lies in its diversity, which should be celebrated rather than exploited. He points out that the current climate often leads to confusion about what constitutes acceptable discourse, as people become increasingly polarized. This polarization is exacerbated by the presence of bad actors who intentionally distort narratives to further their agendas, making it essential to recognize and address these manipulations to preserve the integrity of American values. A significant portion of the discussion revolves around the influence of foreign actors, particularly Iran, China, and Russia, in shaping American public opinion. Hurwitz notes that these countries have been actively engaged in psychological operations aimed at destabilizing American society. He cites specific examples, such as the use of social media to spread disinformation and incite division among various demographic groups. The conversation underscores the idea that these foreign entities are not merely passive observers, but rather active participants in the ongoing cultural war, using sophisticated tactics to manipulate public sentiment. The implications of this foreign interference are profound, as it not only affects political discourse, but also has real-world consequences for communities across the United States. Hurwitz argues that the rise of anti-Semitism, for instance, can be traced back to these foreign operations, which exploit existing tensions to create further division. This manipulation serves to distract from the core issues facing Americans, ultimately undermining the nation's ability to address its problems collectively. Despite the pervasive polarization, Hurwitz expresses optimism about the potential for unity among Americans. He points out that there is a significant amount of agreement on key policy issues, both domestic and international, among the majority of the population. This shared understanding serves as a foundation upon which to build a more cohesive society. Hurwitz believes that by focusing on these common values, Americans can begin to bridge the divides that have been artificially created by bad actors. The discussion highlights the importance of recognizing and promoting these shared values as a means of countering the divisive narratives that dominate the media landscape. Hurwitz argues that the majority of Americans are decent people who want to see positive change, and it is crucial to amplify their voices in the public discourse. By doing so, the conversation can shift away from the extremes and towards a more constructive dialogue that prioritizes the well-being of all citizens. The conversation delves into the role of social media algorithms in exacerbating polarization. Hurwitz explains that these algorithms are designed to maximize engagement, often at the expense of meaningful discourse. This leads to a situation where outrage and sensationalism are prioritized over thoughtful conversation, creating an environment that is ripe for manipulation. The discussion emphasizes the need for greater transparency in how these algorithms operate, as well as the importance of holding social media companies accountable for the content they promote. Hurwitz argues that the current state of social media is unsustainable, as it fosters an environment where misinformation can thrive. He suggests that a more responsible approach to content moderation is necessary, one that prioritizes the dissemination of accurate information while still allowing for free expression. This balance is crucial in ensuring that social media remains a platform for constructive dialogue rather than a breeding ground for division and hatred. Throughout the episode, Hurwitz emphasizes the significance of understanding historical context when discussing contemporary issues. He argues that many of the problems facing American society today can be traced back to a failure to learn from the past. By examining historical events and their implications, individuals can gain a deeper understanding of the current landscape and the forces at play. This historical perspective is essential for fostering a more informed and engaged citizenry. The discussion also touches on the importance of recognizing the contributions of various communities to the American narrative. Hurwitz highlights the need to celebrate these contributions while also acknowledging the challenges that different groups have faced. This balanced approach allows for a more nuanced understanding of American history and its complexities, ultimately fostering a greater sense of unity among diverse populations. Hurwitz and Peterson discuss the vital role that the arts play in shaping cultural narratives and fostering dialogue. They argue that artists have a unique ability to challenge societal norms and provoke thought through their work. This creative exploration is essential for maintaining a vibrant and dynamic culture, as it encourages individuals to question their assumptions and engage with new ideas. The conversation highlights the importance of protecting artistic expression, even when it challenges prevailing narratives. Hurwitz believes that a thriving arts community is crucial for the health of society, as it provides a space for experimentation and exploration. By supporting artists and their work, society can cultivate a more open and inclusive environment that encourages diverse perspectives. A significant theme in the discussion is the danger of identity politics and its impact on social cohesion. Hurwitz argues that when individuals are defined solely by their group identity, it becomes difficult to foster meaningful connections across different communities. This reductionist approach leads to a fragmented society where individuals are pitted against one another based on superficial characteristics rather than shared values and experiences. The conversation emphasizes the need to move beyond identity politics and focus on the commonalities that unite people. Hurwitz believes that by prioritizing shared values and experiences, Americans can begin to rebuild the social fabric that has been frayed by divisive rhetoric. This shift is essential for creating a more inclusive and harmonious society where individuals can engage with one another on a deeper level. Education emerges as a critical topic in the discussion, with Hurwitz emphasizing its role in shaping societal values and norms. He argues that the current education system often fails to equip students with the tools they need to navigate complex social issues. Instead of fostering critical thinking and open dialogue, many educational institutions have become battlegrounds for ideological conflicts. Hurwitz advocates for a return to a more balanced and comprehensive approach to education, one that prioritizes the development of critical thinking skills and encourages students to engage with diverse perspectives. By doing so, the education system can help cultivate a generation of informed and engaged citizens who are better equipped to navigate the complexities of modern society. The importance of civil discourse is a recurring theme throughout the episode. Hurwitz argues that in order to address the challenges facing American society, individuals must be willing to engage in respectful and constructive conversations. This requires a commitment to listening to differing viewpoints and finding common ground, even in the face of disagreement. The discussion highlights the need for platforms that facilitate civil discourse, allowing individuals to engage with one another in a meaningful way. Hurwitz believes that by fostering an environment where respectful dialogue is encouraged, society can begin to heal the divisions that have been exacerbated by polarization and misinformation. Hurwitz emphasizes the importance of leadership in promoting unity and fostering a sense of shared purpose among Americans. He argues that leaders have a responsibility to model the values they wish to see in society, demonstrating a commitment to collaboration and understanding. This leadership is essential for guiding the nation towards a more cohesive and inclusive future. The conversation also touches on the need for leaders to be held accountable for their actions and rhetoric. Hurwitz believes that by demanding accountability from those in positions of power, citizens can help create a political culture that prioritizes the common good over partisan interests. This shift is crucial for rebuilding trust in institutions and fostering a sense of shared responsibility among citizens. As the discussion draws to a close, Hurwitz expresses cautious optimism about the future of American society. He believes that despite the challenges facing the nation, there is a strong foundation of shared values that can serve as a basis for unity. By focusing on these commonalities and working together to address the issues at hand, Americans can begin to rebuild the social fabric that has been frayed by division and polarization. The conversation concludes with a call to action, urging listeners to engage in meaningful dialogue and work towards a more inclusive and cohesive society. Hurwitz emphasizes that the responsibility for shaping the future lies with each individual, and by committing to the principles of respect, understanding, and collaboration, Americans can create a brighter future for all.